This is the keyboard for the 11-inch iPad Air. This is the keyboard for the Samsung A9 Plus. Starting with the outside, both textures feel similar. You can barely see the Apple logo etched in here. You can barely see that. But nothing else that's marked on the outside. The Samsung logo is at the top corner of one of these, right at the back. Similarly, nothing else marked on here. It doesn't catch dirt too much, and I have it on desks all the time, and it looks pretty clean and it's easy to wipe off. Dimensions wise, the Apple is 9.75 inches wide and a little higher, or it's 7.5 inches this way, mostly because it has this port at the side, or this bit at the side, at this hinge here, this large hinge at the back. Whereas the Samsung is longer, right? So this is 9.75. This is 10.25 inches longer, but it's shorter this way. So 6 and a little over 3/4 inches this way. The Apple keyboard weighs about 1 pound, 5.3 ounces. The Samsung weighs about 15.2 ounces. So the Samsung's way lighter. And you can feel it. This feels considerably heavier. The Apple feels heavier. You put them side by side, even though the Apple is longer this way, right? Kind of see that. This is the Apple. The Samsung just feels slimmer, but it's not, because if you look at it this way, it's not slimmer, right? But I think what happens is once you insert the tablet in here, the case is already designed with that space in mind, whereas the Apple now will swell up a little bit. All right, when you open it up, both offer adequate protection for the back of the keyboard, right? So here it's textured with material that will not cause it to scratch. Here's how the Apple connects, right here, and here's how the Samsung connects, right here. As far as keyboard layout, they're the same, about the same height for keyboard layout, and the same number and almost the same type of keys. Now the Apple has managed to fit a trackpad on here, which is not really necessary because you can use a touch screen, but it's there. This does not have a trackpad. When you put the keyboards side by side, height to height, it's about the same height. That's because this keyboard, the Samsung, is designed to facilitate the stand fitting in right just like this. Whereas this hinge, or this stand that keeps the tablet upright, is independent of the keyboard. All right, so it's a kind of a wash this way. All right, this does feel a little flimsy, and I'm not sure how long this hinge will last on the Samsung. But as long as you're not swinging it around, I think it should be fine. It is magnetized once you put this here. You cannot adjust the angle for either of these, at least not much. You cannot angle that one. Once it's there, it's there. That's the angulation you got to stick with, or you got to go real flat. Once the keyboard is inside, you cannot adjust it so you use it as a tablet At least I wouldn't do this. I guess you could, but I wouldn't do it. But you can adjust it in any way that I'll be comfortable doing, where you keep the keyboard case attached and you use it as a tablet, right? Like you flip it over kind of thing. But for this one, you can adjust it a little bit, but I don't know why you would keep it straight up like this. I don't know why you'd keep it straight up like this. I'd keep it at its maximum angle. Advantages of the Apple. The tablet for the Samsung tablet only has one USB-C charger, and the Apple has a trick up its sleeve, because the Apple case allows you to charge the tablet through the case. So you can plug a USB-C in here and then free up the USB-C that's on the tablet to use with a memory bank or SD card reader, that kind of thing. Both of them are great cases. I'm a fan of some aftermarket cases, but in cases like this, situations like this, I prefer to stick with the original cases, especially because both of them were on sale at different times. All right, so now I'll show you what they look like when they are in each of the cases. First, the Samsung. You gotta squeeze this in here. It's not hard, but it's not friendly to take out. Once you have it in here, you kind of don't want to take it out again, because you gotta clip this in. I mean, it's in there, but it doesn't make it friendly to want to take out. But once it's there, it's there. And the width does not increase, because that was already compensated for. With the Apple, it's attached by a magnet. This skin did not come with it. This is a D brand skin I put on here, and it still attaches quickly, but it's friendly to take off, and then you're back to using it as a tablet again if you so choose. Goes on, comes off. But now the width of the case is thicker, because now the iPad's in here, but it's about the same. Let me measure that. It's not going to be that much different. So that's about 1/2 inch, and that's about 1/2 inch. Oh, you know what's interesting? There's a little tab here on either side of the keyboard, and that's to prevent the dreaded keyboard stamp on your tablet. So it's just holding it off like that, right? So to separate the keys from the tablet. I do have a screen protector on here, but it still can happen. The iPad does not have that. The keys are a little bit recessed in here. They are a little bit recessed in here. But so far, I haven't noticed the dreaded keyboard stamp on the tablet. But there's nothing to separate, at least as far as I can see, the keys from touching. It does fit flush. Which one feels better in the hand? The Apple does feel better. Everything just sits flush. You can see that all the way around. Whereas the Samsung, and I think I have that flush in there, right? There it is. It just doesn't seem like it's closed properly. It's almost like it wants to be open. Here's what the Apple looks like with the tablet in it. And here's what the Samsung looks like with the tablet inside. Here's what they look like side by side.